Hi there, it's Catching from 3Ps. Welcome. This video is about what my morning ritual is and how I start my day, to give you some pointers for maybe how you want to start your day or to change your ritual to become something that's much more positive and helps you achieve more. Now, this comes out of a comment from a friend of mine who basically said to me, how do I catch and achieve all I do? Because he's just sort of amazed I managed to get so much done. Now, the first answer to that is obviously if you want to get something done, ask a busy person. That's the standard saying. But it got me thinking about, well, what have I learned and what have I done as a trainer and a coach that mean that I have managed to run multiple streams to my life at the same time. So I have obviously a full-time day job. I have actually 3 businesses. I have 4 children, and I also obviously train myself. And I write books as well. So how do I get all that in? Well, I think one of the major things I do is to have a quite positive and a chosen ritual for first thing in the day. So what do I mean by ritual? I'm going to go through what my ritual looks like, and I'm also going to post a copy of it in the comments below so you can have a look. Now, the aim of this is not so that you can go, well, I'm just going to do exactly the same. It's that you can get a sense of what a positive ritual might look like and start testing out for yourself what would be right for you. Now, what's the point of having a ritual? Well, what it does, it starts your day in the most positive way you can, and it starts your day with you being focused on what you can achieve so that you are the most productive during the day. I think it's no secret that if you want to be productive, then the people who actually move at the greatest speed are the most productive. It's not necessarily about slaving hours and hours and hours over one thing. That's not productivity. Productivity is getting the most bang from your buck in terms of your time. And I'm very conscious that in terms of what I do, that I also need to have time, that it's really important to have downtime with my family, that I spend time with my family, because otherwise what's it all for? So although I work very, very hard, I also make time for my family. So this ritual is also about refocusing on all the parts of my life. So it's not just about work and the results I get in work, it's about my whole life. So I've got my ritual here. I'm going to go through it with you and talk about why it's structured the way it is. And as I said, I'm going to put the ritual in the notes below. If you have comments or suggestions on your own rituals, please just send me a comment. It'd be really interesting to see what you put. I really love to hear from people. I've had actually a recent message from someone about some videos I've done about cravings, and he's talked to me. He and I are having a dialogue about juicing and how that works with cravings, and he done quite a lot of juicing, and I'm really interested in what he has to say about that. And he and I will probably are looking at what he's doing on a juicing level, and I'll be doing my research behind that to have a look at that and see whether that's something I should be sharing with the people who are subscribed to this channel. So anyway, back to the morning ritual. I've got here my morning ritual, so I'm just going to go through with you what it is. Now, this is the ritual on an ideal day. This ritual could take up to half an hour. I often don't have that, almost always don't have that, and I will talk about how you cut this back. So what you would do is you would create a ritual that you could do on an ideal day, but you would also be aware of what 1 or 2 elements of that were the most important. So if on a day that you simply had 4 or 5 minutes, what you could do to also set your day up to be the most successful it could be. So obviously the start of your ritual is to wake up. Now, the first thing to bear in mind is that if you don't actually have a positive intent for the start of your day, you still have a morning ritual. It's just not a very positive one. So your morning ritual might go like, wake up to the alarms, hit the snooze, hit the snooze, hit the snooze. Finally get up when you've got no choice but to get up, have a rush shower, have a rush breakfast, barely have time to interact with your family, be depressed about the fact you've got to get the tube or into the traffic to work, listen to the news, hear about war and death, feel more depressed, and then think about your day, think about what you've got to do during the day, feel massive feelings of overwhelm, and then go and start your day. Now, that's the morning ritual for probably the majority of the population. What an awful way to start your day. You need to take charge. If that is how you start your day, that is your choice, but I would suggest that is a really dreadful way to start your day, and it will affect everything in your day. It will affect how you feel, it will affect your levels of happiness and contentment, it will affect how productive you are during the day, it will affect your energy levels, it will affect how you interact with people. So it is a classic snowball effect. Get the start of the day right, and everything else will flow better, and you will feel greater feelings of happiness and gratitude and contentment throughout your day. Okay, so turning back to my morning ritual, wake up. I don't hit snooze. I think snooze is poison. The The thing about a snooze button is what it does is it keeps you in a state where there are alpha waves going through your brain, which are one of the sleep waves. It keeps you drowsy without actually giving you any more restful sleep. So it doesn't actually benefit you physically, but what it does do is put you into almost like a hungover state by the time you wake up. So I would avoid that at all costs. When the alarm goes off, you need to wake up. Now the first thing I do when I wake up is I smile. Now you may think that's bizarre, that's sort of, like some sort of, weird sort of Buddhist, that first thing they do is smile. I'm not saying that I always feel every morning like I want to smile. So for example, last night I ended up doing my taxes and my husband's taxes, and I had to get up this morning and do some other stuff that isn't probably so much fun. So I didn't wake up and think, yes, I'm this fantastic. But I also know that if I smile, it creates a physiological chain reaction which leads to more positive emotion. And that is not me saying that, that's what science says. So when you lift the muscles at the corner of your mouth into a smile and also crinkle your eyes in a genuine smile, or as genuine as you can muster at that time in the morning, you actually create a change in your emotional state and you feel more happy. I challenge you to try it. Of all of the elements of my ritual, this is the one I never miss. So even if I have only 30 seconds in the morning, that one is the one I do, because I know that it will affect my mood for the first chunk of the day, and that will affect the rest of my day. So the first thing I would do is smile. The next thing I would do is get out of bed. So it depends how early in the morning. If it's a very early morning, I would have put my alarm across the room and I would be out of bed already, because I wouldn't leave it too close to my bed. In order to get up, you need to get out of bed. And I've done a separate video on how I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to train. So if you're interested in that, have a look at that video. But if it's not that time of morning and I know that I'm not going to struggle to get out to wake, then I will have done my smiling, my mad smiling first thing in the morning in bed, and then I get up. Next thing I do is go and drink a glass of water, and what that does is it activates your awake state, not your sleepy state. So again, it just gets you going. Okay, so that's the next thing I would do. Now that after that, because I get up early enough that I have some time, that I'm not bounding straight into my morning shower and breakfast, I've got a bit of time before that, I do things that actually instill in me a sense of positivity and gratitude. Now this is the bit that you can really design yourself, and you can look at what it is that inspires you. So if music inspires you, then listen to music. If reading inspires you, then read something inspirational. I often will listen to podcasts, so I have lots of podcasts on my phone, and I will catch up on really inspirational ones, like for example TED Talks, and I might listen to a couple of those. They're 10 minutes each, and listen to a couple of those, and I find that really inspirational. I also will do a form of visualization or meditation. So I will actually close my eyes and start to think about the desired emotional states I want that day. And as part of my mission statement, and I'll read my mission statement to you so you can see where emotions come into it. My mission statement actually says, my mission state is to live my life in an extraordinary way by doing absolutely everything in my power to live my life in positive states of energy and positivity, creativity, bravery, calm and spirituality, and to use those states to create meaning and gratitude through my connection and contribution to my family, friends and strangers. So that is my mission statement, and there are some emotional states in there that I want to foster. Now it's great to write that down, but you need to make that happen. And the way you make that happen is to visualize them, to use your mind to actually recall times when you felt those emotional states, so you can wash yourself with those emotions first thing in the morning. So if I want, for example, to concentrate, for example, on energy and positivity, then I will close my eyes and I will think about examples in the past of where I have shown energy and positivity, and I will reimagine those, picture them in my brain. I will actually, using an NLP technique, I will actually deliberately make them brighter and bigger. So I'll actually have that picture in my brain, and I will actually say to myself, make that picture brighter and bigger, brighter and bigger, brighter and bigger, just to amplify the feeling, okay, in my head. And I will use that for any of the emotional states. So if, for example, you find that you tend to wake up feeling a bit depressed, and therefore you would maybe not want to wake up like that, or you don't want to start your day like that, then make it your goal that you're going to visualize a more positive state. Whether it could be happiness, it could be gratitude, it could be excitement, it could be energy, it could be positivity. Think of times when you felt those emotions, close your eyes, and actually start to visualize them in your brain. Get a picture of an example of that and make that brighter and bigger, brighter and bigger, brighter and bigger. You will find that that will wash your body with those emotions all over again. the more you do it, the easier it gets. That's a classic neuro-linguistic programming technique, an NLP technique, which is about how you program your brain to feel the emotions you want to feel. The other thing you can do is what's called anchoring. And anchoring is, again, if you have a particular emotional state that you want to be able to switch on whenever you need it, then what you do again is you visualize that, an example when you've had that emotional state, and again, you try and get it into a picture form in your brain, and you make it brighter and bigger, brighter and bigger, brighter and bigger. When you feel that emotion at its peak in your body, you decide to use a physical anchor, which could be to touch your wrist, it could be to touch 2 fingers together. Remember which fingers it is. So if I, for example, I have a series of anchors. I have this anchor, for me, is about calm, and the bizarre thing is, even when I just anchor it, I can feel involuntarily I take a breath. So I've anchored that state, and the reason how I've done that is I have sat quietly, I have thought about an example of being very calm, I have deliberately allowed that emotion to wash through myself, and then at the moment I feel it at its peak, I've touched those 2 fingers together. Okay, now if you do that probably every day for about a week, you will find after that that simply by touching those 2 fingers together, you will get that emotion come into your body. You may not believe me, but do try it. And you can use your anchors first thing in the morning in your ritual. So if I know I've got a very, very, very busy day and I need lots of energy, I have another anchor, which is my thumb and these 2 fingers, which gives me a whoosh of energy, and I can use that. This is so much better than a cup of coffee, I tell you. It's so much, and it's so much healthier. So try and develop your anchors. I might actually do a separate video on anchors because I think they are quite helpful. I think people don't know much about them. They are amazingly good at helping you to achieve certain emotional states that you want. But what, so going back to your ritual, your visualization stage, you are using that to create the emotional states you want. As I said, you can use visualization, you can use music, you can use, if you want to, you can use inspirational talks, whatever it is that will put you into the right state and a state that you enjoy to start your day. Okay, I'm going to go back to my ritual and see what else I put in my ritual so I remember. Yeah, I would then tend to, if I'm me, I'll go off and do some exercise. As I said, when you come out of bed, you need to move your body a bit anyway, just to get yourself going. One of the things I do is also this breathing technique, which I find really helpful for just sort of getting yourself moving, and that is what's called diaphragmatic breathing, which is when you breathing in through your nose and out through your nose, and you're forcing the air in and out, and you move your arms at the same time. And I'm going to show you, but you do 10 blasts, so 10 inhale exhales, rest for 5 seconds, 10 inhale exhales, rest for 5 seconds, 10 inhale exhales, rest for 5 seconds, and you can build that up to 20, 20, 20, okay, and that is a great way again of just getting some energy into your body. So I'm just going to demonstrate and just watch what I'm doing. Okay, so that is just moving your body, and you're bringing your air in through your nose, and on the way out, you're using your diaphragm to push the air out. So again, practice that. These are all different techniques you can use to just get yourself going and get yourself into a much more positive state. So I would then go off and do my shower, and if I'm going to have breakfast at that time, which sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, I may have my breakfast slightly later, I will do that then. The next thing I would do is look at my day. So now I'm in a positive state, I would look at my day and look at what I need to achieve, and I would go through my goals, and I'd actually, rather than just saying I've got a to-do list of 100 things, I would say, what is the one thing that I need to achieve today that will make everything else easier and simpler? What is the one thing that I can achieve today that will make everything else easier and simpler? And if you go through that process, you will identify on your list that one thing, and that's the thing you're going to do first thing. That's the thing you'll do first thing on your schedule once you've done your ritual and you're ready to start your day. It's a really important technique for helping your productivity, and I would use some of my time in my morning ritual to focus on that. So for example, for me this morning, in terms of what is the one thing for me this morning was to get this video done, because I knew that it was something I wanted to say, and I knew that it's really important to me that I get videos out, because I really want to help people, and I really want to use my coaching skills and my NLP skills and my hypnotherapy skills to help people be the best they can. That's my motivation. My motivation in this decade is to help people make a difference to their lives, to be you only better. So that's my one thing. So this is my one thing, and I am doing it first thing in the morning. So once it's out of the way, I've done it, it's in the can, I'll go on to other things. Okay, so the next thing I would do is I would then leave for work. And during that period of leaving for work, I might do some more work on emotional states. So I might be visualizing. I'd also be doing my gratitude and part of my ritual, which is to think about things I'm thankful for. And that's, you know, something which, you know, Oprah has made very popular. So she has a gratitude journal that she recommends you write at night. I don't think it matters when you do it. I don't, at night I'm generally not in the mood to do it. I'm much more likely to do it in the morning, and I don't write it down necessarily, but I do think about it. So I think about, you know, what is one thing I can be grateful for today, and it can be something big or it can be something small. It could be something as small as I'm grateful for the fact that it's a sunny day, or I'm grateful for the fact that I'm feeling good this morning. I'm grateful for the fact that I got up early enough to have some time this morning. It could be bigger. I'm grateful for the fact that my children are happy and healthy. I'm grateful for the fact that my parents are, you know, loving and supportive. It could be all sorts of things, but actually saying them back to yourself first thing in the morning, it has a tremendous effect on how content and how calm you feel. So practice your gratitude. I would identify probably 3 things in the morning that you're grateful for, and say them to yourself either under your breath or in your head. So I'm grateful for, so for example, this morning, what am I grateful for? I'm grateful for the fact that I got up and did my training first thing. I'm grateful for the fact that I had the most amazing sunrise this morning. It was pink actually in London. Beautiful, beautiful sunrise, which made me think about love and gratitude. And I'm grateful for the fact that that I'm doing this video, because it's something that, you know, I find very fulfilling to help people. I've got these skills and I want to use them. So those are my 3 gratitudes, and I can already feel, just by doing that, I feel happier, I feel joyous. So again, try that. And then the last thing would be simply to get on with your day. So this whole routine generally would take me half an hour. If I trained, it would be longer. Some mornings I have no time at all, and as I said, the one thing I would do above all is the smile. That is the one that has the greatest effect on your mood first thing. If you have a bit more time, I would do the diaphragmatic breathing, because again, that really helps your energy levels. And then the other thing I would do would be the planning for the day. There's nothing worse than getting into your day and just feeling overwhelmed by a wall of things coming towards you. I don't like surprises. I like to know what I'm doing during the day. So I would do my planning and decide what my one thing was. Those are the 3 things I would do above all else. And you could do those literally in 5 minutes. So that's my suggestion for how you start your day. Do try, give me feedback. It'd be really interesting to see what your rituals are and how your ritual development is running. You will never regret having that little bit of extra time first thing in the morning to get your day started off well. I promise you, it will make a huge difference to your levels of happiness and fulfillment. If you have any questions about rituals, any questions about the techniques I've talked about, so the visualization technique I've talked about, the anchor technique, then just send me a comment below this video. Please remember to like it or not like it. Please do subscribe. It's going to be great to have you. I'm a hypnotherapist, I'm a coach, I'm a personal trainer, so I've got a broad set of skills. I'm all about helping you to be yourself, but only better. So there's loads of videos on here about fitness. I've got lots of how-to videos, particularly around weights, which is my specialism. There's also stuff on nutrition, diet, and resilience, and optimum living. So please do subscribe. If you want to leave a comment on the Facebook page, we're at facebook.com/3Ps Media. I answer all the questions that come in. Good questions I share by video so that lots of people can see how I've answered a question. It's Katrin Turner. I'm here to help. Thanks so much for joining me. It's a pleasure. I know you're busy. So have a great day. Have a positive day. Bye.